Things might have changed a bit. We used to travel to church on Sundays. We still light our chalice. We still drink our coffee together. We still gather. Because even though we are separated, it doesn't mean that we are alone.
Good morning and welcome to the online Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greeley. My name is Hollis Barrett.
My name is Anna Schultz.
My name is Brian Gaza.
My name is Ash Hayek, and I have been with this church for around 4 months now.
I'm a member of this church for 2 years.
And I have been a member of the UU Church of Greeley for the past 6 years.
And member of this church for 34 years.
Our mission at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greeley is to grow spiritually,
Live meaningfully,
and help heal the world.
Come, whoever you are.
You are welcome here.
No matter your age, your size,
the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin.
You are welcome here. No matter how you came here, if you came alone or with others.
You are welcome here. No matter whom you love or how you speak or whatever your abilities, you are welcome.
You are welcome here. No matter your belief or your skepticism, whether you come with laughter in your heart
or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. If you come here with an open mind and a loving heart,
then you indeed are welcome here.
We have gathered in love and fellowship to worship, foster spiritual growth, serve humanity, and understand ourselves and our universe.
I extend a special welcome to all new visitors today, and I hope you will find here a place that nurtures and inspires your spirit.
If you are new to our church and want to find out more about us while we are meeting online, you are welcome to contact our minister, Reverend Aaron Norris, at the email address minister@greeleyuuc.org.
Information about church events with times and locations can also be found on our Facebook page and our website. Everyone is welcome to join us as we gather after the service on a special YouTube live feed that runs.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greeley. We are so happy that you're here with us today, and we hope that you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Before we launch ourselves into the coming holiday season, let's pause for a moment. Let's have one more course, a simple soup to warm us, with a little cheer. Before we push back from the table, we wash the dishes, and we put the celebration of thanks away. The story of stone soup is both very old and timeless. It matters as much today as it did when it was first told. It's a story about magic, some of the most extraordinary and common magic in the world. The kind of magic that really is at the heart of Unitarian Universalism. even though this story isn't about Unitarian Universalism. It's important to remember why we do pageants, what it is about the pageant that makes sense in the religious context. Pageants teach us something that we know offhand, and yet somehow with pageantry we are reminded of it deeper. And that's why almost every religion in the world has some form of pageantry during the year. We're glad that you're celebrating today with us. A couple of theological observations about the story today, because after all, this is also a service. I've told all the actors, and I'd like to remind you that today's story of Stone Soup is a trickster story. In folklore and in many religious traditions, justice is often accomplished by a trickster character. A character who surprises the others who are acting right, but at the same time not getting the divine will done. Often, it requires a character in a lower status to play a trick on others to get the right result. Humor is generally the hallmark of that story. In Native American culture, coyote or crow is sometimes the trickster character. In West African culture, the spider, Anasi, is often the trickster. Hindu culture has Krishna play the role of trickster. And in the Hebrew Bible, Jacob is a brazen trickster who deceives his own family, including his father Isaac, his brother Esau, and his uncle Laban. We need tricksters in this world. We need those who are counterculture to remind us exactly what it is that we claim to hold true and to point out or to trick us into doing the right thing sometimes. So without further ado, welcome to Stone Soup.
The story of Stone Soup began once upon a time, right? That is how these things begin? Once upon a time? Once upon a time, there was a little village on the edge of a great plain, a village that was not far from a series of large mountains. Not the biggest village around, but not the smallest either. A village that had a school they were proud of. There were little farms and ranches around the village. Maybe you can't imagine this kind of place, but I assure you this sort of place exists, sometimes right under your nose. Most years, this was the kind of village that never had great excess. In fact, it never seemed to have quite enough, and never had enough to spare. Certainly not anything to waste. This year had been especially hard. A sickness was in the village. Many people had trouble with work. There was food insecurity, but they were resilient. People took care of their own. Personal responsibility was a thing people valued most. So there was a village in Stone Soup, but there was also a stranger. Why was the stranger like this? Why was the stranger different? Didn't anyone care about the stranger? These are questions without answers. In this story, the stranger sometimes was a soldier returning from the war, sometimes an old woman who was fleeing a natural calamity, sometimes was someone from a place the villagers had never heard of. One day, the stranger may be you. Today, the stranger is him. The stranger had been walking all day with his children and was tired and hungry when he arrived in town. In need of food and a place to rest, he stopped by the first house.
Hello, we've been walking all day. We are hungry and tired and cold. Can you spare something for us?
I am so sorry, but the harvest was bad this year. And we have nothing to spare on someone who's from outside of town.
Hello, my children and I are passing through town. We don't know anyone and we are hungry. Can you spare something?
Why didn't you just stay where you were? You could have asked your neighbors for help. Our house is barely scraping by as it is.
Sorry.
Who is it?
Oh, it's nobody.
Nope.
Oh, it's just a vagrant, honey, looking for a handout.
Hello, I'm traveling with my children and we are hungry and wondering if you might spare us something.
No, go away. Where's your mask? Go away.
Go on, before I call a constable and have you hauled away.
House after house, the answer was the same. There was nothing to spare or to share. Eventually, the stranger and his children came to sit in the town square. People saw them there. And began to talk.
Why did they come all this way? They should have stayed where they were.
People from their part of the world aren't like us. It's a shame the way they won't take care of each other.
They might be the beginning of a whole caravan of people, an invasion. They could take what little we have.
Daddy, I'm hungry. Me too, and I'm tired. I want to go home.
Looking around, the stranger had an idea. When no one was looking, he reached down and, picking up a large rock, put it in his bag. He announced, seemingly to himself, but knowing the villagers were listening and judging him quietly, saying,
Well, I could at least make some stone soup, I suppose, if anyone had a pot.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, Comfort me. Comfort me, O my soul. Comfort me. Comfort me. Comfort me, O my soul.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stars of compassion, blowing on wind, rising the sea, moving on, giving life the shape of justice. Roots take rose, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
As we gather together each week, we hold one another in loving community. I light our spirit candle for all the joys and celebrations, the concerns and the sorrows in our heart this week. We are a loving community that ministers to one another. Our hearts reach out to the wider world. We find ourselves deeply concerned and troubled by issues arising in the Middle East this week, by the assassination of an Iranian official and the potential fallout. This is a dangerous moment for everyone in the Middle East, and because of past history, it's a dangerous moment for the United States. May reason and common sense prevail. May there be patience and time taken. May we not rush into war, and may others not rush into war as well. We continue to be overcome with the COVID numbers. We're grateful to have spent the holiday of Thanksgiving thinking about those things that we are truly grateful for. We acknowledge the pain that this historical marker also represents for Native American populations, and we honor the day of mourning as well. We cannot escape or placate over what is the entire history of the United States, a history that includes genocide and includes invasion. This is a complicated moment for all people. May we find space in our hearts for all stories. For those of us who honored the call of public health officials and medical staff and spent a very unusual Thanksgiving separated from people that we might otherwise have seen. May we take comfort in knowing that we did the best that we could to protect those who needed to be protected, and that we cared about our community, and that we listened to the best medical and scientific advice. We are thankful that we can continue to be together, even if it is at a distance. We are thankful for the good news that seems to be coming out, that it may not be a very long time before a vaccine is available, before life changes once again and we have brighter days. For those who are suffering from all illness, both the pandemic and the illnesses that we have come to know and fear, and the illnesses of the mind and the body and the spirit. May those who suffer receive comfort. For those who are hurting, may they have solace. For those experiencing food insecurity, may we acknowledge their plight, and may we redouble our efforts so that no one goes hungry in this country that has so much. For those who are unemployed and underemployed, those who are seeking work, and those who cannot work at the moment, as a community, may we take care of those people. For a nation that is hurting and suffering, we pray. Let's take a moment. Join our hearts and minds together in the spirit of meditation for a moment of silence. Blessed be. Shalom. Amen.
Having announced that he and his children would have to make their own meal of stone soup, the villagers began to gather around. Noticing that a crowd of folks had gathered around now, the stranger began to address the villagers.
Good people of this village, I can see that you have nothing to eat in this village, and my children and I have pity for you. In our land, we have a magic and most delicious dish called stone soup.
Stone soup.
Stone soup?
Stone soup?
What is that?
Stone soup. Really?
Oh, it's one of those foreign dishes. These people will eat anything.
Sounds hard on the teeth and bad for the digestion.
Stone soup? I don't know about that.
Mom, we have a pot in the house.
Having acquired a pot from the child, the stranger went on with his plan.
We only cook this dish on very special occasions, but this is a most illustrious gathering, so I am happy to share this very important, very exotic, and very magical dish with you. I'll put this magic stone in the water, bring it to a boil, and voila, we will have stone soup.
Putting the stone in the pot, the stranger brought the water to a boil. dipping his spoon in the soup, brought it to his lips, and said,
"Oh, this is so good, really good, but it could use just a bit of salt and pepper."
Mom, we have salt and pepper in the kitchen. I'll go get them.
And the child brought the salt and pepper.
It is very generous of you, my dear. Just a little of that makes the soup so much better, and we'll all enjoy it. I think it's good, but if we had a few herbs...
And another child of the village said,
Mom, we have oats in the kitchen behind the mixing bowl. I'll go get them.
Freely have we received the gifts that minister to our needs of body and spirit, and gladly we bring to our church and its wide concerns a portion of that bounty. We will now receive the offering. Your funds will help to support us through this time as a community, a broad range of programming, and to maintain even in this difficult time.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and to you I give, together we receive, and to you I give, together we receive, and to you I give, together to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
As a congregation and a beloved community, we dedicate ourselves and these, our offerings, to the vision of this church, which is to grow spiritually, to live meaningfully, and to help heal the world.
After adding the herbs to the magic soup, everyone agreed it really began to smell wonderful. And everyone was amazed that the smell of soup made from stones could really get their appetites going.
It's very kind of you kids. Just a little of that makes the soup so much better, and we'll all enjoy it. I think it's very good now. My mother always used an onion in her stone soup, you know. Makes it a bit heartier. It's really too bad the harvest was so bad this year.
And, for the first time, it wasn't a child who spoke. An elder of the village stepped forward and said,
Here's an onion. I can give you an onion for the soup.
It's very hospitable of you, good lady. Just a little of that makes the soup so much better, and we'll all enjoy it. I think it's even better now. There was a great chef in my home village that always added a turnip. I'd love to share her recipe, but as we're barely scraping by...
I don't have much, but I do want to be helpful. I think I have a few turnips we could share. Let me run back to the kitchen.
And off the villager went to grab a handful of turnips.
I think I know this soup. I had it once when I was traveling, and you're right, it is better with a simple onion, but I think I had it with some beans, and I've been saving some for just this type of occasion.
And off the villager went to grab a handful of beans.
How about we put some of these in there?
Just a little of that makes the soup so much better.
And here are some more vegetables for the soup.
Everyone was becoming very excited now.
It's very helpful of you, kind lady.
And off the villager went to grab a handful of carrots.
Here are some carrots.
And we'll all enjoy it. I think it's the very best now. It's interesting, because there was a king in my country who wouldn't eat stone soup without a potato. Said that only a potato would make this magic soup fit for royalty. Can simple folks like us imagine the extravagance?
And now the magic had taken hold of everyone, and someone blurted out,
A single potato to have a magic soup fit for a king? I'd be happy to provide two. We're so lucky to have such fine guests among us. Be right back.
And off the villager went.
Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of me, yours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of me, yours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come yet again, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of me, yours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come yet again, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of me, yours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come yet again, come yet again, come.
When the soup was finished, the whole village came out to try some.
Stone soup? I'll be. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's one of my favorite dishes. We should find a way to have it every year.
Like a celebration in the mouth, and so good for the digestion.
Give it a taste, too.
Wow. The soup is really good. What do you think?
This is good.
It's really good soup.
Very good.
This is so good.
Everyone was so happy with the soup and hosting the strangers. The conversation went late into the night. Socially distanced, of course. And it was exactly the type of thing everyone needed after a long year. After staying in the village for a few days, their new friend and his children bid the villagers goodbye and continued on their journey.
Don't be a stranger.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for your help.
Goodbye, dear friends. Thank you for your warm welcome and sharing such a wonderful meal with us. Yours is a remarkable village, gracious and giving. We are truly grateful for our time together. As a gift, I would like to leave you with the magic stone to make this special soup. You know the recipe, and most importantly, you know the magic. A little kindness, some generosity, a share of both hospitality and help. In this way, the soup becomes as rich as our new friendship.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
To those who came here seeking the holy, may the holy go with you and in you. To those who came here seeking to embrace life, may life return your affection. To those who came here seeking a better way, may you find that way and the patience and the courage to take it little by little. And to those who came here seeking a better world, may we make it so with the loving work of our hearts and our hands. Go in peace. Shalom. Amen. Blessed be. Amina and Harabeh. How about we put some of these in there?
And here are some more vegetables.